Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Continuing with my Dharma raps from PowerPoint presentations I've done, this is all about navigating in the dark. First, I remind you that everything is preceded by doing your asana practice, and for those of us who've been at it for any length of time, your pranayama practice, because posture is prerequisite for working with your breath. Do it. Then the next thing is to install faith by recognizing that Dharma doesn't suffer in comparison to any teaching. Once you understand what the Dharma is, you'll be able to see through superstition, false reasoning, fundamentalism, bullshit of all kinds, groupthink, and be clear. And one way you do that, according to yoga, is called ekagrata. Do one thing at a time. I know our culture gets you to multitask, and we all think it's important to do many things. Learn to focus one thing at a time, penetrate, go deeply into it. Now, if you're not proactive, by default, you go to chaos. So the answer will always be in an action. What are you going to do? What's the plan? Think ahead, create the reality you want. Because the problem is not now, the problem lies before you. And too much grief makes a stone of the heart, and then you can't feel. And when you can't feel, you end up having what they call acedia, lacking zeal to do new things and create your life. Now, it's a modern point of view that there is no center. It's a modern point of view that you don't need a guru. I love this phrase from the medieval times, Corpus Hermeticum, that says God is an intelligible sphere whose center is nowhere, whose circumference is nowhere, and whose center is everywhere. So once you realize the all and the all-inclusive, it encompasses you, it engulfs you, it penetrates you, just like the Force in Star Wars, all around you, within you. Now, you pay attention to the fact that where a spirit dwelling, wherever a person lets spirit in. And most of the time, we're only looking for spirit in positive experiences, but ritual initiations are all about going down, having a breakthrough, break out. In other words, it's a transition state when the status quo gets interrupted through a death, a divorce, hospitalization, moving to another city, getting fired from your job. Understand? It's something you didn't expect to happen, but it breaks through, it erupts into your life and changes your status quo, your ontological state forever. So once you understand that, everything becomes grist for the mill. It's a kind of grace, a grace that allows you to use it as part of your spiritual unfolding. Yeah, grace is unmerited. It's the kind of divine assistance that's given to everybody for your own regeneration. And the regeneration means you've learned what it is to get into sacred space. Because that's the definition of what's sacred. If it takes you out of time and makes you feel like you're born again and everything's new, right? You've got the second birth, then you understand. And you may have to go slow. It's not a sprint race. Your coach should have told you that at the beginning. You get down, you hear the gun, you run as fast as you can, and then 20 yards up the road, you got to jump over a hurdle. All right, didn't expect that. Then you try to get back up to speed, another 20, another hurdle. But if somebody would have told you it's a hurdle race at the beginning, not a sprint, you'd be prepared for these little detours that you got to jump over or recalibrate and then pick up speed all again. So once you're doing that, then you understand that compassion has been in exile in our culture for a long time. No one deserves more love and compassion than yourself. I say that about me, and I hope that each person says that about themselves, so you'll take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, be tender with yourself, because you have to remember that your wound is a womb through which you give birth to something. And so, understanding that, may you be merciful to all people who you meet, and as a goodwill ambassador, may you eliminate discord between people. And that's the way that you learn to navigate in the dark. And so as you do that, may you find that you're able to do any of the acts of mercy, like in the old biblical days. Feed the hungry, clothe the sick, clothe the naked, shelter the homeless, visit the sick, ransom the captive, give drink to the thirsty, bury the dead, admonish the sinner, give wise counsel, bear insults with patience, forgive easily, comfort anyone who's afflicted, and pray for all. That's how you navigate in the dark.